Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Look up a run! Make sure they can't even follow up afterwards.
And Monarch is down 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire.
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3 with the primal rage.
Experience tranquility.
Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another night in the opening week of Tranquility, Season 8. Tonight we enter a Week 1 Stage 1 battle in the NA Discord tier between Monarch and Firefight. Will Royalty persevere, or will Firefight be too hot to handle? I'm Kraken, your play-by-play for the evening. Our producer is the talented Laggy. And joining me doing analysis tonight, you know him, you might love him, a dear friend of mine, Apathy. Apathy, how you doing? Walk me through the rosters. How you feeling? What are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited. First regular season Overwatch Tranquility cast.
Yeah, first game of the Discord tier.
Yeah.
A lot of people will recognize both of these teams. Of course, Firefight and Monarch both played in last season, and people will definitely be thinking of Firefight's last season run in the Harmony tier. But if you actually look at the roster, this is a very close roster to the Firefight in the Harmony tier of Season 6, 2 seasons ago. And that, of course, was the Firefight that made the Grand Finals of Harmony tier. They've got most of that same core lineup there with You Can't See Me, Chuster, Josh, and Potato, and YB, who I believe might not be here tonight, though. And they've added a couple more pieces on top of that. So this is definitely a team that was ready to step up to Discord tier. They kind of did. All those players went to different teams. Of course, you'll notice a lot of them won the Harmony tier last season as well on flashbacks. And Monarch has been struggling a little bit in the Discord tier. They've always been kind of just on the upper bubble of our what we call the C pool teams, and usually those are the ones that just barely squeak into playoffs. And they've made a lot of roster changes themselves. They're only keeping 2 of their core players. And I think Monarch still likes to run a lot of Brawl. And so Busan is probably not going to be the best map for them. We are starting with Mecha Base, which is to their advantage. But Firefight has proven themselves to be flexible team from what I've seen, at least scrimming against them. They can play Brawl, they can play Double Shield, they can play Ball. So I'm very curious to see what they'll roll out with on Mecha Base, because all three of those are quietly viable on Mecha Base, though everybody just defaults to Brawl.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Right before we start, any Preds? Do we want to make some, or do we want to just hop into it?
I think it's a firefight win. I don't want to say map scores.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we are getting ready to hop into Mecha Base, and I am excited. These are teams that, Apathy gave you the pretty thorough rundown, so I'm excited to see what ends up panning out, who ends up playing, well, popping off, making some sick plays here tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna roll out with a complete mirror match that should be in Monarch's favor as one of their best comps. So this should pretty quickly dictate, I think, how the rest of the match is going to go, to be quite honest. If Firefight can beat Monarch in the mirror that they're most comfortable on, they'll be looking good through the series.
Yeah, right here, pretty tidy Maywall by Storm. Right here, they're coming up. Both teams fighting both Immortality fields down. Just poking back and forth, not a whole lot. Ooh, and Schuster in your area gets the kill onto Paradox Road. Blood Hungry gets a kill onto Storm. Just firing shots into this team right now. Doing a really good job at starting. Right now, it looks like Firefight coming out ahead on the first point, takes the first fight.
Yeah, Storm with a really early Maywall there. Got You Can't See Me pretty caught up there. He somehow manages to slip out and over whatever that architecture is of D.Va's stuff. And
Ooh,
really
right here,
good
Paradox
Maywall.
walled off early, really caught out. The backfield comes out pretty early. Mosaic doing his best to take out that. Both High Noons come out. And I lagged there for a bit. It looked like he hit a really big shatter. Although I couldn't tell.
Yeah. He dropped his hammer right on Mosaic's head. Of course, that new Rhine buff does do like an obscene amount of damage within, I don't know, half a meter of the actual hammer drop. A lot of ults used on both sides. Monarch trying to push a lot through these chokes, and another great Maywall.
Yeah, Josh almost caught out there right now. He throws down the Blizzard and is looking for it, but it doesn't look like anyone was caught inside it. Right now, Paradox Rogue charges up. The beat comes out from Try, and both teams are just kind of fighting. The Sick on Pop's ult as well. Right now, Blood Hunger just kind of popping shots into the team, doing as best as he can. Monarch looks to be taking this fight. A good Maywall comes out. Seacon pops Josh right there. Truth gets the kill onto Potato. A bomb comes out. Both teams still swinging around on the point, but right now Monarch take the fight and take the point.
Blood staggered a little bad. Tries to trade 1-for-1. Unfortunately, is not going to be able to do it. Paradox Rogue with a really good play there. Manages to catch You Can't See Me with his pants down. Maybe he didn't see Paradox. Gets the pin on him, takes him into his own backline, kills him pretty quickly, and they use the beat as well to finish that off. Firefight going to be pushing in here, looking to use this High Noon while they wait to build other ults and see if they can do anything with that.
Well, they draw it out. Big shatter from Paradox Rogue. Really well done. Just fighting around now. No one's gone down quite yet, although the kills start coming through as the Lucio, the Rhine, and the D.Va all taken out. So another pretty strong fight for Monarch, taking this point and holding it down.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to see probably another hold here. They've got still a pretty significant ult advantage. Unless You Can't See Me is able to find a massive shatter, I think it's going to be tough for Firefight to win this fight, but they can try to save up that ult bank, come in and win the next one with the Blizzard perhaps, or they could just play this one slow to win now with Blizzard.
That's pretty. Oh, and there's the shadow we were talking about. It comes through and lands. Right there, Mosaic pops the High Noon and is now looking to try and do some damage. Paradox Rogue goes down as Monarch is trying to get back to the point, and You Can't See Me is just holding his W key, but actually goes down. So Firefight doing their best to retake this point. They invested a decent number of ults there.
This might be stallable.
Both
got
teams
some
still, yeah, both teams still fighting it out right now. Monarch got the Mei and the Lucio stalling on point, so some pretty irritating champs to kind of hold down the point. But Firefight does come back and retake the point with 98% for Monarch.
Paradox could have touched there. I don't know if we saw him at the corner of the screen walking up, but he decides to back off Could be a good decision since they're already at 99, but that might have been winnable with how many trades there were going. Let's see if he can find anything with the Shatter, if Josh's Blizzard's going to seal the deal.
Oh, and he gets charged out of it, and so really unfortunate for Monarch right there. Is now Firefight pretty much has free reign to just kind of run into the team and push them back as far as they can, even into their spawn. They're gonna have a pretty rough stagger on the D.Va here, although Monarch is just running back right underneath point. Schuster forced a pop bomb right over it, and right now he does get the kill onto Storm. Oh, and he gets the remake kill onto the baby D.Va. Really brutal. So well done. Right now the high noon comes out from Mosaic, but it doesn't really matter as the ticks down and Firefight comes away with map 1 on Busan.
I cannot believe Schuster managed to live there. Firefight was pushing into Monarch spawn, trying to get these staggers, and Monarch very smartly wrapped down around and tried to go under to get that last minute point contest, and completely caught Schuster off guard. I don't know how he managed to survive there, but does get the help from Triangulum's beat, and is able to remech, get some kills with it as well. Really good play from Schuster there to potentially save what could have been a dicey fight there.
Yeah, they caught me off guard the way that they kind of regrouped and then immediately ran back under. So a good attempt by Monarch, and better on Schuster for holding it down. Well done. So right now we see not a mirror match now, which is interesting. We see the ball kind of versus the Winston. Tell me what you see in these comps.
So Monarch is running 6-man. They're going to be looking to ideally punish You Can't See Me whenever he tries to find engages, and then speed onto the backline. If the Sombra goes for the backline first, I think she's going to have a tough time. She needs to be playing to hack this ball and make You Can't See Me's life miserable. But they're going to have a much better point presence and a much better brawl as long as they can get on top of Firefight in these fights.
Yeah, well, speaking of point presence, they've taken it already, and Josh goes down right here. Blood Hungry trying to get some shots out, but the ball and the Tracer are both down. So Monarch is gonna kind of take first fight and really hold down this point and make them wait for it.
Yeah, they didn't really get any big hacks or speeds. They kind of just forced themselves on point and used the obscene amount of resources that Moira has in the first 15 seconds of a fight to just bunker down. Weirdly enough, running a monkey comp like that, but it worked quite well. So we'll have to see what Firefight can do, or if they're going to switch.
Yeah, you can also see that reflected in the ult percentages in the support line from Monarch, having a pretty, not only to have point capped and almost 40% down, but to have ult advantage on both supports is pretty impressive. As right now Joe's just trying to find an angle on this Tracer, looking for someone to engage on, but their Winston and their D.Va really kind of dono walling him off point there.
Yeah, Schuster trying to scout out the Sombra. This is an interesting conundrum here where both teams are kind of doing nothing and just charging ults. So it's just going to come down to which ult feels more impactful. If Potato is able to reaction trance to the EMP, then Firefight will win the fight. But if this EMP is huge, it's going to be tough for Firefight to do much. Here comes the trance now from Potato. The Mosaic's EMP unused. Let's see if they go for a re-engage.
Yeah, so the EMP comes out, and right here the ball's going to slam and use mines. They're doing their best. It's still kind of chaos on point as both teams getting picks and going down. It does look... so it does look like Firefight is going to be able to retake point. But it's kind of late in the game. It was pretty late. Like you said, both teams were just kind of standing, posturing, waiting for something to happen. And I'm not sure that favors Firefight when now you're down, some 70%.
It was late for Firefight, but on the other hand, Monarch invested quite a lot of ults after the EMP unfortunately did whiff, only caught Schuster, and they went ahead and used 3 or 4 more ults to pair with it, including the incredibly important Coalescence. So I think they're going to have to take a dry fight and try to catch them on the next one, but they are in one fight territory here.
Yeah, so Tri does use the Brig ult, and Schuster and Tri both get some picks onto Monarch. Right now, You Can't See Me just swinging in and pile driving down, and this is definitely a Firefight win, as now they just look to kind of clean up the straggling members of Monarch.
Yeah, the issue with that is when you want to do a dry fight, you don't want to take such a long rotation. And of course, Truth getting staggered out for quite a while there. Decide to give him some mercy. But they took such a long rotation. They made that fight take forever, and they didn't take any pokes. So they're not actually any closer to any of their ults. At least the important ones that they really need to be on, like EMP and Coalescence. And it's going to be close to last fight territory just because of how much this ball can stall out.
Yeah.
It's going to see if they want to get super aggressive with this Death Blossom or play it slow and wait for the Coal and the EMP.
All right, so they have Primal Rage,
Rotato.
they have Death Blossom, and they're pretty close to beat. So let's see what Monarch wants to do here. They're getting onto the point. They're starting to posture. You can't see me looking to kind of swing in. Can't quite get the attachment to get up and use mines.
Yeah, might have lagged a little bit.
Right here, both teams are just kind of going in. Potato does pop the trance and get in there immediately. His Paradox Rogue is using the Primal Rage to swing around point. It is overtime right now. You can't see me gets the mine kill, and just like that, it's pretty much over. That it looks like Firefight has taken this map. Monarch is going to try and stall, but they just didn't have this. They just didn't have the staying power on point.
Yeah, the rotations, it's a bit of a bait, that matchup. You would think that the 6-man would want to get onto the enemy backline, but with such a big open map like Sanctuary, Potato and Try are doing an excellent job of kiting them out. And I think Monarch would have honestly fared better if they just tried to get a hack on Schuster, who's often kind of on his own. He won't have much support with his Zen Brig, but instead opting for these long rotations doesn't quite work out for them on this map, but we'll see what they choose to do on 2CP. Of course, you could bring it back to the Brawl Mirror with a map like Hanamura, or you could try something completely new. Maybe you can test how good Firefight is at a double shield and take this to Anubis. We'll see what they want to do.
Yeah, because Storm on the May looked pretty good on that first map and Mecha Base. That he was getting some pretty nice walls up, making some good plays for his team. And so I am intrigued to see what they decide to do on, remind me what the second map is. They're playing on Assault, correct? They're playing on 2CP?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
so
haven't chosen yet.
Yeah, so I'm really interested to see how Monarch tries to bounce back. You know, what do they go with what looked like a comfort pick on that May kind of brawl style? I know they didn't quite come away with it, but they were pretty close on both maps of Busan. So they're not out of this. They've done well. They've shown promise in this match. They just didn't quite come out on top.
Yeah, they are going to pick Hanamura, of course. That the most brawly of the three choices for sure. Sim TP or Sim Brawl is a very popular composition here. I find it interesting. We are subbing out Blood Hungry, one of their better like raw hit scam players, the Ashe, the Cassidy, in favor of Twist, who plays a little bit more Tracer and a little bit more Flex DPS. They've got kind of a double Flex DPS rotation. This makes me think that they want to play Pharah Tracer, which is one of the more popular counters to Symmetra Brawl that tries to just TP out of the point. So I'd like to see, Monarch is going to have to really think about where they want to TP to, and either, you know, poke out this Pharah and kill her early, basically take the 6v2 against the Pharmacy, or get on top of the other 4 as quick as possible and burn them down.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get into it and see which of these teams are gonna end out on top. If Firefight can take that kind of commanding 2-0 lead, or is Monarch gonna come back and even the score? So I think we are about to get into Hanamura. Yes, we are. All right, and so we're gonna see if Twist is gonna be a valuable sub in for his team and see how they can kind of make an impact and keep the team's momentum going.
Yeah, the 3 DPS that they have on rotation is an interesting trio. Josh, very good at Pharah, I believe, is his main character, but fairly flexible. Blood Hungry, probably the best in terms of raw aim. Switching over from the main tank role, if you'll remember him, last season's champion on Reminiscence, switching to hit scan this season. And Monarch does have 3 DPS as well, but they're opting to keep Gizmo Charmander on the bench for the last 2 maps. Unfortunately, I haven't scrimmed against Monarch. I don't quite know their hero pools as much, but I know Storm to be a very flexible player. We've seen him on both Hitscan and Projectile, and really the vocal leader for this team, it seems like. So I think they would be keeping him in all 4 maps. We're going to see if he can use that kind of leadership prowess to really rally his team around the teleporter. But interestingly enough, we're seeing Firefight mirror a TP brawl style as well. They're going to have one end of the teleporter at the choke and the other end back to point.
Yeah, so you were mentioning
brawl in the small box.
Yeah, you were mentioning they might go for a Pharah Tracer kind of play style, and that does not seem to be the case. As right here, Schuster gets stunned right in front of the teleporter. Both teams looking to posture up and try and make as much use of these teleporters as they can. Paradox Rogue is here leading the charge. They're just looking to slowly kind of march onto point. Let Truth kind of take some space up top with that D.Va. The wall comes out pretty early from Josh and isn't able to quite section anyone off. Try does get the kill onto Storm, and Schuster gets the pick onto Paradox Rogue. So the tank, the Rhine down early, and now Firefight just kind of runs through Monarch and really halts that in their progress. So although we were looking for that Pharah Tracer pick early, the Sim doing dividends.
Yeah, and this is kind of flashing back to what some of these players played last season. Of course, the flashbacks with Try and Potato and Schuster. Potato for part of it did opt for this style of play on Hanamura. Unfortunately, Storm just got a little bit caught out there. These Symmetras are really going to be crucial to decide these fights.
Now, so they TP straight to point and get a kill onto the Baptiste and Paradox Rogue onto the Rhine, and so they TP right in and just die immediately. And so I feel like you got to applaud the effort, try and shake it up. But that particular attack not going the way that Monarch wants it.
Yeah, I mean they've been like this is a counter pick, to be quite honest. And right now I think they're scratching their heads trying to figure out where they want to TP to, and they're gonna opt to just give it up, go for a May of their own. At which point now I think Firefight's gonna push up to choke, try to hold them as close as possible. We'll see if Storm is able to catch anybody out with a wall like he has previously.
Yeah, You Can't See Me is hiding around the corner. He looks like he wants to hit a big shatter. Just swinging away. He does shatter and does. They do see him and he does shatter.
Yeah.
The beat comes out from Sikon, and so it doesn't really do anything quite yet. Josh able to use the Blizzard, and the Sim Wall comes out from Twists right here. Both teams just kind of standing and choke doing damage, but honestly, Firefight out damaging Monarch, and so another fight kind of stalled right at choke immediately.
They did get stalled out, but that was actually a pretty good fight from Monarch. All they used was the beat, and Firefight used 4 ults of their own in retaliation, and they did pick off the Rhine, and they have spawn advantage, so they're going to try to go in here before You Can't See Me is able to respond. Schuster's going to have to make another hero play here with his bomb. Probably going to wait for 2 ticks.
We have seen it, and so right now, we are waiting for 2 ticks. Oh, the bomb doesn't quite get in. Oh, so unfortunate. Although most of Firefight is here and ready to fight. Twists on the Symmetra just sounded like a hive of angry hornets. Goes through and gets the kill onto the Baptiste. Potato able to take down Paradox Rogue, the Reinhardt. And right here, it looks like Firefight is doing really strong. Oh, but just gets bopped off. A really nice play by Sion to kind of take this May off of the point, remove some point presence. But ultimately, Firefight comes away with yet another fight as they didn't quite get 2 ticks and there's only 30 seconds left.
Yeah, that was Monarch's best fight. Again, pushing in when the Rhine was staggered. Did a really good job. Schuster missed his bomb, but unfortunately Twist, with that Symmetra, when these fights start to take longer than 20 seconds, Monarch couldn't quite get enough done, and he was at tier 3 being just absolutely rampaging through them.
Yeah. Paradox Rogue does have Shatter now. Is going to look to try and use it once this Symmetra walls goes down. Right now the beat comes out. Oh, and he is just stunned forever. The Immortality Field does come out, and it looks like Monarch is going to take some kills. They're really doing a good job right now fighting on this point, and so at the very last second it does look like they're going to come away with this point in overtime and force it to the second point.
Yeah, really good play from Paradox Rogue, able to catch out You Can't See Me. I think they got an excellent wall on him as well. and Potato wasn't able to get LOS of the lamp, and then he follows it up with a big shatter after being CC'd for about 6 seconds straight. So hopefully that helped him feel a little bit better after getting, Zim walled off, frozen enemies beated on the whole shebang. But he got the big shatter, he made the hero play. Let's see what Firefight now does on second, where I do think that this comp starts to weaken a bit.
Yeah,
Point's
so
a
you
lot
can't
more
see
wide
me.
open.
Ooh, a really nice blizzard by Josh right there to halt Monarch in their tracks right now. All of these players are just sitting down like fish in a barrel. You can't see me did switch to the Orisa, although right here Mosaic looking to do some damage onto Schuster. Right now his team is able to peel a little bit, but they get the and Schuster gets the bomb. So they were able to get Truth's mech, and then they kill him with the bomb anyway. So a really nice blizzard there by Josh to kind of stop Monarch in their tracks. Ooh, right here Josh walls off Paradox Rogue, but a wall by Storm is able to kind of revert the threat. So right here, both teams still kind of here looking to fight on this right side of Hanamura. This Twist still kind of firing in.
Yeah, after they lost that fight, Firefight wasn't able to clean up, and so they do have the advantage of being on this left side, just waiting for Truth to come back on the Diva before they're going to push in. Probably with the High Noon after they use this bomb. See if Mosaic's able to make anything with it.
So the bomb comes in from Truth. The Immortality Field comes out pretty early from Monarch. Right here, Mosaic looking to try and get some picks with this High Noon and is able to get both Josh and Bob. So right here, both teams still fighting it out. Twist's taken down, and as right now, Monarch looking to do some damage on this point. The ult from Orisa, You Can't See Me, does come out as the blizzard on point is really well done. But right here, Schuster, You Can't See Me, just tag teaming most of Monarch in that fight, really holding it off. That they were able to get some early picks, but they were able to stall long enough for that kind of spawn advantage to come into play, and they're just gonna stall Truth into next week. That's just it's hard to watch.
They took it easy on him a little bit. They could have waited and they could have taken another 10 seconds off that clock. You see now Storm, they're switching over to a double hit scan, just gonna try to take this high ground and oppress them from above, but of course they're gonna have to deal with, oh no, Twist swapped, no longer on the Ashe, and Try now switching over to the Zen as well. A bit of an awkward comp, they went to stall. Maybe would have liked to see them switch back. Let's see if Monarch can punish them for that.
Yeah, there's only 10 seconds left. Both teams trying to make some last-minute magic happen. Twists does take down Storm, and Paradox Rogue takes down Twist in response. Immortality Field comes out. The bomb from Truth goes in and does get Try in the back. A great blizzard from Josh comes out, and most of Firefight is able to pretty much clean it up from there. Truth, Diva Mech is taken out, and right now Saikon is just trying to stall on point as Lucio's. Right now it looks like Firefight have taken have stopped this attack from Monarch.
Yeah, unfortunately unable to get any ticks as well. Monarch have really good pathing. They have very strong comps. I think they're just lacking a little bit in these ultimate usages. They're using them at the right time. It just feels like maybe Firefight is just very well aware of it. They have a really good plan. They've tracked what these ultimates are, and they're playing around them very, very well. We see them push space on that one fight that was close. They pushed space with the bomb, followed up with a High Noon, get like 3 picks or something total. But then they aren't able to do anything afterwards. They can't kill the Orisa, who manages to stall out the point with the bongo of their own, and Firefight ends up like retaking and winning that fight with pretty much just the bongo, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they're going to do on defense to kind of counter this TP brawl. We might see another mirror match, but very interestingly, right now, Truth on the Zarya. Not something we typically see anymore. Of course, Ryan Zarya, popular for years, especially in your ladder games, as I'm sure you've seen plenty of Kraken at the depths of bronze, but
hey, listen. I've played about 5 games this season. All of them were on DPS, so I wasn't even paying attention to what tanks were in the game.
Yeah, Zarya's interesting. It is a little bit weird to You would think pairing two beams that like to ramp up their damage would be good, but in practice it often is not because you're just waiting so long for your damage to come through.
Yeah.
And you very rarely are able to get them up to 100% with, you know, your BAP and your Rhine alive, for example.
Yeah. Although they do
Right
take
there.
out the potato, they do take out potatoes really quickly. So a Baptiste down really kind of stops the fight all by itself. As you can see, they're trying to back off as quickly as possible, deny this ult charge try. Really just jumps off the map immediately. And so
Smart. Yeah.
maybe they know something we don't. Maybe Monarch has the inside info right now as they kind of
Yeah, I
take
think
this
Potato
first
just
fight without much
kinda
resistance.
Potato just kinda got caught with one of those random you know, you get hit by a fire strike, a sim right click and a Mei right click all at the same time and you just
Yeah.
get evaporated. So
Yeah.
they are making a full comp switch. I'm not sure if I agree with that. Only giving it one awkward fight and not really committing to their comp. Gonna reset their ults, see what they can do.
Well, right here is
running into Potato.
Yeah, Zarya just forcing Potato immediately back into spawn, but Josh really just cleans up on the Zarya. He punishes that aggression from Truth and from the rest of Monarch, and so although it might not have been necessary to swap after just one fight, already doing
work
really
out.
well as Firefight just take first point on Hanamura immediately, like a knife through warm butter, or a warm knife through butter. I guess the butter or the knife can be warm. I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess it's kind of the same either way, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, they try to push up perhaps a bit too close to that choke when you're dealing with a Pharah. They just Josh just kind of got up and around them a little bit too easily, spamming out so much damage in the back. And as soon as that Zarya used both of her bubbles, the fight was pretty much over. Josh just flies directly on top of her, two taps her. Does take out Potato, but it's so tough to do anything after those bubbles have run out. Gonna push in here with a window, countered by Sim's wall. Let's see how this fight goes, Kraken.
Yeah, so Josh is up trying to get as much damage out with this far as possible. Truth in the area trying to get him away, and Twist's able to get two really big kills. Josh does use the Pharah ult, but not able to get anything because Truth is right in his face with the DM, but still getting a lot of damage out, and then they just take the point. They didn't have any response, and Firefight wins map 2 on Hanamura.
Yeah, they only
blinked
needed
and I
one
missed it.
stick. As soon as they got them off the high ground, that fight was over. They've corralled them on point. Their Baptiste was on high ground. Their Pharah was on the other high ground. They had so much crossfire. And here we see that hero play from You Can't See Me, we mentioned earlier. Doing a really good job living and pumping out damage with this bongo here.
Yeah, really just so much getting done there. So well played for Firefight to kind of take the first two maps quickly and with authority.
Yeah. Got a lot of momentum here heading into half. We'll see what changes and adjustments Monarch is able to make. You know, maybe Gizmo Charmander is going to come in on this DPS, and the combination of Storm and Gizmo, two big leaders in the entire Kaleidoscope org for a couple seasons now. Maybe, you know, they can rally a bit of a reverse sweep, or we'll see Firefight just close this out, and we'll see if YB wakes up. Oh, he just got out into the lobby. What do you know? Yeah, maybe YB will wake up, and that'll help Firefight or hurt them. Maybe, you know, he's not warm, he's a little sleepy, now he has to play.
Yeah,
it doesn't bite them in the ass.
Yeah, I feel like if you're Monarch, you will take any kind of chaos you can get, anything you can inject to kind of shake it up. So we are now going to halftime, and right now, Firefight has a 2-map lead over Monarch as we go into this break, and we'll come back out in a hybrid map. So stick around after this break.
Let's see get this. Hiya.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Hey there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
See if I got you. Enemy contact.
Let's do this.
Let's get you healed up. Easy. Hold up. Nothing should have stopped. Hey there. Hello, hello. Oh, yeah!
Broken shield, maybe expecting a bubble that Truth had on cooldown. And of course their lamp was forced earlier. And we are going to see Truth going over to this team now. Another big wall from Josh.
Yeah, another big wall from Josh. Indeed, coming out, splitting up the team. Right now, Paradox has the Shatter and is looking to use it. You can tell. Oh, and he does get it down and get the kill at the perfect time. A great counter ult by Twists to take out the Baptiste and the Cassidy on the other team. They're looking to stagger the Baby Diva and just kind of clean up the rest of the fight. So it was a really nice Shatter from Paradox Rogue. But the rest of the team just can't quite follow up as they finish out and look to re-engage here.
Yeah, he trades his life to lay the hammer down, and unfortunately it's very tough to counter a McCreel when your Reinhardt is dead or has a broken shield. Might be speeding Josh back. They're going to try to press this advantage. It is going to be back now, but they're forced into this corner. Let's see if the Blizzards do much.
The Blizzard does come out from Storm, and the beat comes out from YB. Everyone is popping their ults right now. As the big Blizzard comes out right on the point. You can't see me. He does lay down the Shatter, but it doesn't get a whole lot of value as the fight was kind of already won by that point. As right now, Firefight just chasing Monarch off the point. They did get a tick, but it's not exactly what you want if you're going to invest that many ults.
Yeah, the early Blizzard got a lot done. Zoned the Firefight out very well, but Schuster just sends Bomb up and over. Doesn't eat the Blizzard, but pretty much completely negates it anyways with that Bomb, creating so much space that Josh was just able to come back in, counter Blizzard, and now neither team with any ults. Pretty much just going to be a raw fight here. Let's see if either maybe one of these McCree ults will do something, but we'll see what happens here.
Alright, so a good wall from Storm comes out, and they're trying to engage on that, right? or a good wall from Gizmo, excuse me. Twists pops the high noon, doesn't quite do anything because Truth is on the scene, and the rest of Firefight just kind of immediately running onto him, cleaning up the majority of Monarch here. You Can't See Me just swinging to his heart's delight, as right now they're just kind of rolling through. They're not finding the value that they want out of some of these picks on the side of Monarch.
Yeah, typically flank high nooning isn't that great to do anymore because the D.Va can just fly at you, but Firefight communicated it very well. As soon as that flank high noon came out, they sped onto the rest of the core. D.Va went to cover the high noon, and they rolled over the rest of them.
Alright,
they have
so
a bomb shatter.
Alright, does come through, so the shatter doesn't quite hit. They're not able to time it up exactly how they want it, but they still do get the kill onto the Reinhardt. So now You Can't See Me is gonna just kind of make his way back as the rest of Firefight continue to fight it out. They are in overtime right now as they're just looking for picks. The D.Va is on the point, and that's kind of it. They're just looking. The Sikon does come through and use the beat. As right now, this is just like a pick fight. They're just looking to get people off the point right now. Monarch does have the spawn advantage, and they're looking to do it, and there's just not much going for them. They just they have no choice but to really trickle in like this, and ultimately, Firefight does hold the point down and not allow even a single tick.
Yeah, Joe's just holding down the fort on this May. I think he has he got picked off once, but in that last fight was alive for forever, just freezing. I believe both Indica and Sky on Psycon at different points of that fight there, doing a lot to the enemy backline and just staying alive. Pretty tough push there from Monarch. Firefight played very well. They played slow a lot. They played second a lot. They knew when to play first though and push their advantages. They're rewarded with nearly a full hold for their efforts, just about at 69%. So we'll see if Monarch, I don't think that the Brawl is going to work when you need to full hold. I think it's excellent on defense in general, but when you're running up against a full hold, it lets the enemy team play a lot of weird strats. Of course, the Metro Bastion TPing up onto the statue is pretty popular. You can also run Ball Pharmacy. We know that to be in the hero pool of Firefight, but looks like they're deciding what they want to do still.
Yeah, so it does look like they're kind of changing their mind as we have about 10 seconds until the gates open. Right now, Monarch does have some pretty nice percentage on this point, but it's only about 2 ticks, and so they are going to have to play really clean, really well to make sure that they don't, lose the match right here. So right here, Twists on the Widowmaker, trying to get some picks into the side of Monarch. Right here, both teams just kind of fighting out. A wall comes out from Josh and gets a decent amount. Immortality Field comes out early. Yeah, they're fighting, and Twist has now switched to the Cassidy and is just looking to come in. They're taking their time. A big wall comes out from Josh again. He has really done so much work funneling this team in, and a pretty good wall from Gizmo as well. Right now, Paradox Rose gets flashed. He has low health and low shield. I don't think they have the immortality up right now, and so it's pretty dangerous. They are playing on knife's edge right now, as one pick could end it all. Right now, the immortality does come out, and the wall comes out, and they are just laying damage into Monarch right now. Twist's looking for the high noon, is able to draw the beat out from Psycon. So right here, both teams still looking. It's a lot of ults invested for not a whole lot of progress done. They haven't really done much to fight Firefight off this point. Twists does get the kill onto Storm. Right now, the beat comes out, the bomb comes out, and both teams still fighting on this point. Ooh, a big blizzard comes out from Josh. And I think that's pretty much it for this team, as Firefight is going to take map 3 and end the match.
Yeah, Firefight, they're on the attack. They can kind of take these fights under whatever conditions that they see fit. They're going to close this out here. But playing very, very well, just very slowly going around that point, waiting for ults. They used an ult and Monarch counter-ulted. They simply just backed off and waited. At one point, we did see, You Can't See Me had to escape to the hotel there, a bit split off from his team. But Monarch just a little bit afraid of the fact that they are, staring against a one-fight loss here, so they're not really taking that advantage or pushing in quite as strongly as they could be. And Firefight basically just got to take that fight at their pace, and of course, when that happens, you're slowly going to overwhelm them and win that map. So,
yeah, they were using their ult pretty effectively there. They were going back and forth and really doing a good job at kind of standing their ground. But mentally, it's tough. You know, when you only have one fight to lose and then the game's over, you haven't really done yourself any favors. And so that is tough. Now, Apathy, you've had some experience playing in Discord, playing in Overwatch, playing in the Trank community. Take me inside the mind of a team that's down 3-0, has already kind of lost, and is just trying not to get the 4-map sweep. Like, how important is this, especially given that it's week 1 and you have some room to spare?
There's kind of two ways that I think a lot of teams look at it, and it can go on both ends. Sometimes the team up 3-0 or the team down 0-3 will kind of just say F it and play something really wacky on the 4th map. Just play for fun, make sure that they don't end the day too frustrated. Just, you know, go comfort picks, go something funky, throw a Roadhog in there. It is Junkertown. So we'll see. Or, you know, you take it very seriously. You kind of maybe hope that the opponent does do something a little wacky like that, and you get that map win, because a 3-1, if we're looking at map differential, of course, a 4-0 is -4, but only winning one map actually saves you basically 2 points. You go from a -4 to a -2. So even this single map here is worth a lot, especially come, you know, week 4 of stage 1, where we're kind of separating into where we're going to go in our pools for stage 2. You really want to avoid that C pool as much as you can, and map differential can kind of save you there. You know, and this pool definitely shaping up to be an interesting one as well. Anyways, we've still got, you know, Firefight might be one of the favorites in the pool, but there's still quite a lot of good teams in this pool, and a lot of hard matches, I think, that Monarch will have. So I think they'd want to take a map wherever they can get it.
Yeah, and we do have a sub. Blood Hungry has subbed in to Firefight for Josh, who's played real well. His May was getting some real value for Firefight. That those walls were really, really impressive and caused the perfect amount of chaos. But to your point about Monarch looking to take a map wherever they can, I agree. And as they say, that you have to fear a man with nothing to lose. You know, that if you're Firefight, you can't take this lightly. That they've still played well. Monarch has still played pretty frighteningly on some points, and so this is not, you know, a walk in the park. And even though they might kind of, you know, like you said, play some comfort picks, play some fun, you know, whatever, that every map matters. That like at the end of the season, you know, you're not going to look back and say, oh, this one, you know, match was what won us or lost us the season. But it's still dangerous. You know, you still, like, one map can make the differences. Right now, Paradox Rogue on the Orisa there, playing that kind of pirate ship comp, gets the kill on the Twist immediately. So that's really going to do dividends and kind of giving them some free push on this payload.
You know that I'm happy to see the pirate ship. You know, not just a fun way to kind of go out with a bang on map 4, catch an opponent off guard, but I also just think pirates are cool, for those who didn't know that. Unfortunately is going to be taken out here. Blood Hungry with a really good off angle. We caught it earlier. He kind of hid behind those cars for a while, waited for the cart to get around. Whiffing a little bit now, but did his job. He managed to sink the ship. So
Yeah. He got the important picks, and that's what he was asked to do. Right now, Storm switching off the Bastion and onto the Widowmaker. So an interesting point for attack is right now they're kind of running this double sniper alongside the Sigma Zarya, or not the Sigma Zarya, excuse me, the Sigma Orisa. And Twists making the swap as well. So both teams playing this double sniper, trying to take the right angles to protect or push this cart.
Yeah, very popular comp on this map. A bit tough for the Widow to play into a double shield, but I think we're just going to kind of see a battle between Twist and Storm, trying to catch each other out here.
Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like I always love a good sniper battle that's going on back and forth. Is right now, ooh, Blood Hungry gets a pretty valuable ult right into the side of Monarch, right on the cart. The Nano does come out, and both teams still looking to fight back and forth, although honestly Firefight kind of takes this one without too much of a hitch either.
Yeah, a lot of people disrespect Hanzo, you know, a bit of a spammy hero. You might not need aim. You kind of just spam one angle. They call it the log chucker, as we do on our team at least. Blood Hungry is not doing that. He is flanking and trying to take point blank duels with the enemy Ana, and it is very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. So here's Blood Hungry again, just kind of shooting fish into a barrel, although that does look a little bit more like the log chucker, as he's not quite able to come away with it. Twist, on the other hand, has a really strong angle right into the side of Monarch, although Indica gets the kill with the nade onto the Orisa. And so that's a really valuable pick for Monarch, as they're going to look to try and capitalize on that right here. They have about a minute left as the Sigma fluxes onto point. Only gets the kill onto Sycon, so another good kill. And Storm is right now just putting absolute value into this side. Goodness gracious, really getting his way with it. Oh my god. Schuster was most certainly in your area right there. As he just kind of execution style kills the Ana. And Gizmo honestly able to come away with it. So although we were kind of making some laughs at that, they're about to take this point, although Firefight gonna look to re-engage.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be some cleanup here. Using the dragon, maybe a little bit overkill, but that thing charges so fast. Oh my gosh, Blood.
Goodness, oh my god.
Waiting out, but they do take the point.
This is pretty fun. This is the kind of thing that I was hoping to see, some good like back and forth, just chaos. You know, that both teams
Twist is looking like Neo right now in the Matrix. Dodging everything.
Is he gonna get out? Ah, no, not quite. So unfortunately, goes down. It's right here. Monarch looking to continue to push this cart and make some pretty valuable progress right now. Gizmo and has done pretty well on this Hanzo right now. Although Blood Hungry and Twist have been doing just as much. It's kind of been we've seen some pretty crazy plays from both of these Hanzos right now, although ultimately I feel like it's been more effective for Monarch as they keep pushing the card, although Blood Hungry does have what I feel like is a pretty spicy dragon coming up soon.
Yeah, I think he wants to wait for them to try to push into this left side of our screen here. That high ground there where you come up the stairs, that is a juicy closed corridor for a dragon to come through. We do see Storm switching forward to this Cassidy. Storm and Twist have been swapping heroes like crazy. How Twist on the Ashe. Cassidy, here comes that dragon we talked about. This fight is a lot of ults with nothing to gain so far.
Yeah, not much has happened despite there being so much action on the screen. Sycon and Indica, of all people, getting the kills. So the support line is the one that's popping off now as Twist has this really just fat off angle as he's just laying. Not able to really get around that that Orisa shield.
That's
so
Indica.
well done.
Yeah, Twist with an excellent flight, completely negated by Indica. Did not, you know, for every shot that Twist hit, Indica was hitting another one, topping him right back off. And
yeah,
I will say the Ana is also an interesting pick. We didn't really talk about it earlier, but typically when you run Orisa Sigma, you see the Baptiste as the flex support, and you can run double flex support.
Another kill with these Hanzos. This is insane. This is like some anime protagonist stuff going on right now. Is the dragon does kind of go into the middle of nowhere, but sometimes I feel like when you're popping off, the adrenaline just takes over, and you gotta use it. You know, you gotta fire it off and see what kills it can get.
Yeah, if you're charging dragon every like 3 shots that you land anyways.
Now why not?
Might as well use it.
Yeah, so another Hanzo pick. They are really having their way with Firefight on this point right now. So really well done by Monarch to kind of refuse to go down quietly. With Storm and Gizmo really doing some work on these heroes.
Firefight not quite able to figure out and stabilize. I think they've been trying to play pretty split, taking off angles, and unfortunately this hasn't been working out because Indica and Lycon are just not letting anybody die.
Yeah, they've
mattering.
This is definitely the best that the support line for Monarch has played so far tonight. Is right here. Storm just kind of gets taken out immediately in the middle of that high noon. He does get rezzed, but the Mercy goes down, the Sigma goes down. That might be the end of the push there. Oof. The Nano does come out onto the Orisa too, so that's not what you want to see if you're Monarch or a fan of Monarch right now, because the Nano came out, the Flux came out, the High Noon came out, and they still weren't quite able to push it in with that last minute.
Yeah, their progress has finally been halted a bit. You know, it was slowed a bit on first, but they kind of steamrolled through second. Albeit a little bit slowly. Don't quite have as much time on the time bank as you would normally think for... Ooh, a good prayer there from YB. As you would normally think from a team that's been winning every fight. They've been taking them very slow and methodical, which I can appreciate. But unfortunately the drawback is... Ooh!
Oh my god.
He canceled that.
I did! He did cancel the dragon, so really nice play from Gizmo as he's able to stop that, which would have been a pretty big one. That would have been pretty dangerous right now. You can't see me doing his best to fire some damage into this Mercy, but it's really not working. Blood Hungry decides he's had enough and comes out on the Bastion and is just looking to D-Day his way onto the payload, but right now, and so it does look like it might actually be a pretty good value pick. They're getting the kills and they're stopping it with 5 seconds left, but a really, really strong map by Monarch to kind of refuse to go down quietly. Well done to push it all the way to the end.
Yeah, for sure. If they can do more of that on defense, I think we could see them, you know, taking away this map. They looked very good on the double shield. Truth on that Sigma was, you know, not really talked about that map, but he was doing very, very well. Kind of outpacing Chuster on the fluxes and probably the damages if we were able to look at that stat. Seemed a bit more comfortable on that Sigma compared to, you know, the Diva that he's been playing all night tonight. And of course, you know, Chuster, big fan of the Diva, not quite as experienced on the other off tanks. So we'll see if this Sigma map is where, you know, Monarch is going to be able to take a win.
Yeah, and I'd imagine that this is the kind of thing that, like, there's no such thing as bad experience, right? You know, that if they recognize, like, oh man, you know, we were really struggling on those first 3 maps. You know, we couldn't quite find a place for Truth. We saw him swap back to the Zarya a couple times in ways that just didn't quite make sense. You know, they didn't have the Hanzo to go along with it and try and find some ult synergy. It just didn't quite click. And then you get the Sigma in and go, oh, whoa, we just went crazy on this map. Now, given Storm and Gizmo have both been playing really, really well, that they have been just the epitome of head clicking, right? And so lots of stuff has gone well, but this is the kind of thing that, you know, you learn for a whole season, like, oh man, maybe this is something we're strong at. So right now, Firefight gonna load out, gonna do their best to stop and make this a 4-0. Right here, both teams just kind of pot-shotting into one another, trying to push this card up.
Yeah, I would love to see some more teams go, wait, maybe we aren't a Brawl team, and realize that they are good at a lot of these other maps. You can't see me trying to take out the Widow. Again, excellently peeled by Indica. And recognizing the ball, we're also going to see Zycon switch over to the Brig.
Ooh, a great rock by Truth there to stop You Can't See Me from rolling through the back line. This Firefight, the Genji in the background is kind of an interesting pick to me, seeing as they don't even have an Ana for Nanoblade. Right now, really good slam by You Can't See Me, and Twist's able to clean up and get the Brig down. So right now, even there's just not a whole lot going on. YB able to get the kill onto Paradox Rogue and the kill onto Truth. So right now, Firefight just kind of steamrolling through. That Brig pick really just playing in their face and not letting him breathe.
Yeah, and the Widow, you know, surprisingly, you would think that the Widow would struggle less into an Orisa comp, but it's actually, you know, a bit harder for her to play into this ball. There's no one for her to really shoot at other than the Hanzo and the Zen if she can catch either of them out of position. But you've got to be worried about losing those duels as well, because, you know, the prayers and the arrows can take your head off just as quickly. And talking about this Genji, Genji is surprisingly a very viable counter into double shield. You do normally see it in a bit of a mirror match, so that you can go for full dashes and charge up your blade faster. And you don't need the Ana because you can just Rally Blade and Bongo Blade, and that's basically a nano boost right there.
Yeah, so right here, unfortunately, we are seeing Firefight just kind of go all the way through. You mentioned that the Widow is a lot harder to play into it, and it makes sense because You Can't See Me on this ball. really just kind of rolling around, and you can't. He's always a danger. You know, he's always a threat. He's always kind of making your life miserable. And so right here, we're not able to see the same spacing that they were able to get on this offense. And so Firefight really rolling through now with 5.5 minutes left until they cap point. So Firefight is doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, they have to adapt. Monarch has to adapt to these flankers. We do see Storm switching over to the Cass. Of course, they've added the Brig and now the Diva as well. But now they've also, you know, lost a lot of the heroes that they excelled on their attack. So they're not doing quite as well, despite, you know, maybe having these counter picks not quite working out in their favor. As Firefight's going to come out on top of another fight here with the help of YB's rally and Bloodhungry's blade, which I don't think I saw it in the kill feed, but I'm sure he baited out a lot of reasons.
Yeah. I'm sure he drew the attention into him and let the rest of the team kind of take over from there. So really well played by Monarch. They posed a really strong offense to kind of try and finish it, but ultimately it does look like Firefight is gonna finish this up and take the 4-0. They have 4.5 minutes to push it 2 meters. It's looking like that might be it, and the clock will strike 12 for Monarch here. Although they are still putting up a little bit of a fight. Paradox Rogue takes out You Can't See Me. YB does get the kill though. Truth gets the kill on the Bloodhungry, so they are doing their best. They are using this spawn advantage as best they can. Twists on this Tracer, trying to take it around. It just gets absolutely slammed into the wall right there. And so the fight lasts on. Ooh, a really good kill from Gizmo onto Potatoes right here. YB trying to, well, not trying to. He does get the kill onto Gizmo.
Yeah, able to block that Meteor Strike. A little bit unfortunate for Gizmo. Maybe he wanted to switch, because otherwise I would have liked to see him. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Seeing the Hanzo. So yeah, Monarch realizes, you know, it's last fight territory. They have a tiny box of space to push into. We could probably just run Brawl as our ditch effort. Now they're going to have to continue this effort for another 3 minutes, which is going to be tough, but let's see if they can make anything of it. They're slowly not allowing themselves to die on this point.
Yeah, the Brig goes down early, and YB is able to pop Rally as they look to kind of end this here. The bomb comes out from Truth on the cart and does take down Twists. So they're down a Tracer as Firefight look to keep pushing. They have the high ground and are just firing into Paradox Rogue right now. The High Noon and Baptiste ult come out, but You Can't See Me and Schuster are able to get the kill. And they're still just holding on for dear life right now. They are not quite able to come away with the kill, and they're able to push the cart, and Firefight ultimately wins and takes the 4-0 over Monarch.
Yeah, it was a really good push on their Monarch's attack. Unfortunately, not quite able to find their footing on defense. Got a little bit steamrolled, making quite a lot of swaps that didn't quite work out. But I think we saw a lot of potential there on that attack. You know, maybe if they can hit the tape on this one, on the defense, they can kind of solve this map and look pretty good on this double shield, hopefully. Because they showed a lot of potential there. But in the end, we are going to see Firefight winning this 4-0. Of course, the first match of these pools, you know, Firefight probably one of the top contenders in this pool, along with Domination and Valkyrie. I'm not sure when they are going to match up for these big fights here. Actually, Firefight, is going to play Domination next week, which could potentially be for the leader of Orange Pool A. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and so I feel like if you're Monarch, there isn't a less significant week than week 1, right? That it doesn't really matter that being down in the 4 maps, it's not ideal. You don't want it. You would never wish for it. But you have so much of the season to come back, to fight back, to learn, to grow. So not really a big deal if you're Monarch. You just kind of shove it off and say, all right, whatever, we'll get them next time. But ultimately, they did show some promise. Now Firefight played so well that they played clean. That Josh on the May for the first 3 maps was really just doing whatever he wanted on the May. That he hit some really nice blizzards and hit some really good walls too. So both teams playing really well, going back and forth. We know that Firefight kind of has that success pedigree. They've won lots of games before. Lots of them have been champions or gotten very deep into the season on other teams in past seasons. So It makes sense, that it's not super surprising, but Monarch held their own when they needed to, and they did their best, but ultimately couldn't quite come out with it.
Yeah, if you had to pick a player of the match for Firefight, who would you give it to?
I mean, they all played well. I feel like I gotta hand it to Josh, right? That he was just playing so well, that he was creating so much chaos, creating so much space for them on all of these different maps, that Monarch was really trying to run some of these brawl comps, some of these like in your face, we're trying to fight it out comps, and the May just kind of stopped it from happening, right? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think Blood Hungry and Schuster showed some clutch moments, but no one quite as consistent as what Josh was doing on the May, on the Pharah, throughout this match. So I definitely would give it to Josh as well.
Mm-hmm. And from Monarch, especially on Junkertown, both Storm and Gizmo really popped off. They had some really shining moments there, and so did Indica. That Indica had a couple of really nice plays on that Ana to start as well. So unfortunately, couldn't quite pull it out. It is a 4-0, but ultimately both of these teams I think have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. All right. Catch us on Monday at 9 p.m. EST for the Iris podcast. Don't remember who our analysts are next week. I am sorry. And after that, immediately after the Iris podcast, we will also have Predicting Tranquility, talking about all the matches, all the teams for this week 2 of the stage. And also on Thursday next week, I believe, I don't think we have one today, but I believe Thursday next week we are going to have our first beat drop. And that will occur after the Discord feature match, so pretty much at whatever time it is right now.
And then as for games, you can tune in next Tuesday, March 1st at 2:30 p.m. Eastern for our coverage on the EU Harmony matchup between Apollo and Aesir. And then later that day, we have our NA matchup in Harmony between Gehenna Gatekeepers and Squall. And then on Wednesday, March 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have our Transcendence NA matchup between Insidious and Throwing or Bad. So please stay tuned in for all of those programs next week. We look forward to it. As for tonight, a big thank you from myself, Kraken, your play-by-play, to Apathy, your analyst, and to Laggy, your producer. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. This is Tranquility Gaming, signing off.
Night.